When I was doing e-commerce, what we would do is, this is pretty funny. We would get our Facebook ads.
Yeah.
We would run our ads, and then we would manage the comment section. So in the comment section, we would treat it like a Reddit forum. So we would kind of organically farm our ads so that Meta would look at the ad and be like, hey, this individual is getting really good engagement on this ad. It must be very popular. People must like it. Let's give it a cheaper CPM and let's boost it. But it's all engineered.
Were they arguing in the comment section?
They were arguing in the comment section, but what we did is the top comment that we pinned with the most likes and the most comments artificially running was, hey guys, I found a cheaper listing. Because then people are like, aha, gotcha. They feel like they're smarter. So they go on Google, they type the name, and then you have Google Shopping. And they have listing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most people, they would only have their Google Shopping listing, or maybe not even that. I owned all 5 stores.
Yeah.
With 5 different domains, with 5 different branding, with 5 different prices. And people went to the 5th one that was the cheapest that I owned. Aha, got you.
Illusion of choice.
Illusion of choice. So you control the right, you control the left, and you control the narrative. If you're printing billions of dollars, brother, the banks are printing billions of dollars out of thin air. It's an illusion. People are working for money. People are working for money. You need to be working to develop a business, to develop cash flow, to develop yourself, to solve problems. Don't work for money. Money will come. Money will come. Once you have money solved, you focus on leveling up. But people don't make money because they're not the type of person that attracts money. The reason the guy at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's makes $8 or $10 an hour is because they're replaceable. The person that's not replaceable, that is developed, is going to make a lot more money. What are your thoughts with regards to the system? How do you see kind of this whole politics thing yourself? I know you're still on the young side, so maybe I'm not sure how much you were around 8 years ago with the whole Trump shit getting started. You probably saw it a little bit on social media. But what's your feeling now with this upcoming one? Because Trump's older, bro. Trump's older, bro. Like 8 years of just getting slammed by the media. That does a lot, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my macro opinion is just Naval Ravikant put it really good recently on X. He said the tax of politics is genius because it distracts productive people from thinking that they have to pay attention to politics. You know, I'm kind of in the same camp as you that I don't want to say apathetic, but outside of it. But as far as results go, I think Kamala has a strange advantage now after watching the debate.
I didn't watch it, yeah.
I watched it, and the biggest thing I noticed was there was so much novelty to hearing her speak, because it's like we haven't heard anything from her for the past few years, but it's like everyone knows Trump's narrative. He's been running the same scripts over and over again. And I don't know, the debate moderators were fairly biased according to some people.
Yeah, the system.
Yeah.
But then once again, it's like it's understanding whoever wins, how much actually changes. What if whoever gets put in office, they just don't brief them?
Yeah.
Is Trump going to manage 80 departments? No, it's impossible. So the cabal isn't the presidency. The cabal is the people that are irreplaceable at the Federal Reserve level, at the agency level. Who is, name beside Gary Gensler, another 4 people in the SEC.
Fair. Yeah.
You can't.
When you say this cabal, I mean, you've had a lot of experience with highly successful individuals. Have you not noticed that they all have such high egos and are so certain about purporting their own narrative? Like, how would it be possible that a group of individuals is so symbiotic?
When the purpose is the Jones plantation and not individuals. There are groups that operate at a unit level for the good of the unit. That's how countries are formed. That's how religions are formed. That's how cults are formed. That's how companies are formed. When everybody unites towards a common vision. Every narrative that you see today is the cumulative of a lot of people adopting that belief system. So it's the same way with everything else. And that would be kind of my perspective. You have to understand that, that would be my answer. Quite simple.
Do you think they share their alpha with each other?
there are groups like banks that benefit in everybody colluding. There's benefits in every intelligence agency sharing intel. There's benefits in every company having a BlackRock board member on it.
Yeah.
So I do think at a certain level, whether it's nation states or countries manipulating other countries through investments, through let me give you an example, because I've been thinking about this. Go to China right now. Have you heard about the concept of nation building?
No.
So this concept of nation building it's what's taking place right now in the Ukraine. It's what took place in Panama. It's what took place in Argentina. It's what took place in the Middle East, which is a disaster happens, or a terrorist attack happens, or something like Ukraine happens, and then private industry comes in and loans money to the government and then privatizes the nation. Right? So they'll say, hey, we'll give you a loan, but if you don't pay back the loan, we own your water supply, we own your parking meters, we own your electrical grids, whatever. They sign the terms, done. It's a book called The Confessions of an Economic Hitman, if I'm not mistaken. And it's this guy that basically explains how we would go to different countries and offer deals, and as a bank, offer deals and funding to governments. And if they wouldn't take it, well, they would just get rid of them. And they would put somebody who would actually take the deal. And so once again, these Kabbalistic systems, they're designed to do one thing, which is what? Leech. And what they do is they leech from productivity. It's very much like insider stock trading.
Yeah.
Where everybody kind of determines when they're going to dump and when they're going to buy collectively. That's why you see Nvidia dump 10% in a day. That's managed, that's controlled. That's a lot of people dumping collectively together at the same time on retail. So yes, there's coordinated efforts. There is premium examples of situations in which mafia and gangsters infiltrate governments, take up government agency positions to then just legally execute their competition so that they can actually take over the streets. So what they do is they weaponize the police. So people are getting extremely intelligent right now. And I think that it's a mix. If you look at gangs, if you look at governments, they're very intertwined. If you look at a lot of governments in Asia, a lot of the representatives there actually have ties to the gangs. So they're fighting the crime, but they're criminals. They're supposed to be against other countries like China or Russia, but then they're actually doing business with each other still. They're supposed to say, hey, you know what? This politician is my enemy, but then you see them dining together.
Yeah.
So they tell you one thing, they do the other. I think there are egos, but I also think that people are intelligent enough to understand that there's more than enough for a lot of people. And yes, I believe there's factions, and I believe there's political swings and power struggles, but I also think that there's a lot of agreements, because if not, things wouldn't be so stable and working.
Yeah. I want to take it back to your backstory a little bit. You moved from Argentina to the US when you were 16 with $200 in your pocket. What'd you do with those $200?
I went to Walmart and I bought swimming trunks, tank top, and then somebody made fun of me because it had the little Q Walmart logo, and they're like, you bought those at Walmart. I'm like, bro, I thought this was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just went to a Walmart shopping, and then I had free rent, so I was able to stay with some people, and then I started working. So I got room and board included in my job, and that's pretty much what I did. I went to Walmart, got some essentials.
What was the differentiating moment for you? Because you worked several odd jobs, like you were janitor,
pressure washing basketball courts, a lot of restaurant jobs, cleaning toilets, flipped wings, Buffalo Wild Wings. Shout out Buffalo Wild Wings, it's really good. And just a ton of restaurant jobs.
At those
tables,
restaurants,
everything.
You waited Jeff Bezos. Was it
once.
waiting people like that?
That was
broke you out of this?
So it's very simple. Everything you do in life, you're either going to decide to be complacent in the same, or you're going to find ways to do things better. I started waiting tables in shitty fucking taco restaurants.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would go and hang out with other people or let's say it was a group of restaurants owned by the same VC group or investment group, and they own 19 in the city with different brand names. But you would often maybe go to, let's say, a different restaurant owned by the same group, and you would see that the servers there are making more money, and that the bills are higher. So you're like, hey, maybe I go work at this restaurant. And you're like, hey, maybe I optimize, and I start figuring out, if I'm getting 20% tip on a $100 check, maybe I should go get $1,000 checks. So then I was like, hey, let me go work at high-end restaurants. And then I realized that at high-end restaurants, people were extremely nice. And I was like, well, let me build relationships. And then there was a lot of entrepreneurs that came, and it would be, hey, I'm trying to do entrepreneurship. Do you have some advice? And then I would start upselling them different foods and different drinks. And I was like, this is how you increase the bill. So it was very much optimizing the path of least resistance that I already had, which was I could work on tips, which I always wanted to work on my production. I never wanted to work on the hour because there was no incentive to do well, at least on tips. Go to Europe right now. You know why the service is so shit? Because people don't give a fuck because they're not getting tipped. So they don't care. You go to Mexico, you go to the US, some of the best customer service in the world. Why? Because culturally it's ingrained that you've got to earn it. But then you go to a place like Asia or the Middle East, no tip, but it's incorporated into the culture that serving is like a benevolent or a high regarded thing. So you don't need to give people money in order to do that. But in Europe, fuck you, bro. In South America, if you don't pay me, fuck you, bro. That's how they work. But in the United States, in Mexico, you got to earn your tips. So I was like, I'm going to earn my tips. And then 2016 rolls around. I'm working at a high-end restaurant, making $300, $400 a day. And a fellow server says, hey, I have a $15,000 stock portfolio, or $14,000 stock portfolio, something like that. And he talks to me about day trading and biotech stocks and pink slip stocks and cheap stocks and penny stocks. And he starts telling me about all these things, and I start reading, and a couple weeks go by and he tells me about Bitcoin, $588, and I get interested, and I was like, hey, it's going to go up, and I buy it. And that's my introduction to the digital space. And then from there, e-commerce, social media, and it kind of just explosion, an entire new dimension.
Why were you not comfortable? Because a lot of people don't shift jobs. It seems like you always wanted more.
I'm shifting all the time because it's identifying potential. If I know, let's say today I lose everything, I don't have the ability to recuperate my business, things like that, I already know how to make money.
Yeah.
So it's all about the development of skill. Once you develop your skill and you become better, you're going to want to charge more. You're going to want to develop better opportunities. Let's say 5 years from now, when your channel is a lot more subs, millions more, hundreds of millions more views, you're going to be able to charge for your services a lot more than you charge today, because you have more experience, more seasonality. You're going to be better at refining your product. Your offer is going to be better. So in that process, I would say that a lot of people don't realize that as they grow and as they scale, they should charge more. They should get paid in proportion to the difficulty of the problems that they solve. So when you solve big problems, you should get paid a lot. So I want to solve problems of the future. Once again, right? I want to be focused on getting really good so that I can solve problems of the future. What are the problems of the future that AI won't be able to solve? I want to solve those. They're going to have a premium to it. What are they? I don't know all of them. I'm trying to discover it. But you can see guys like Gary Brecka making millions of dollars a month on gene testing, blood work, things that are readily available. But he packages it. He presents it in a personable way. He simplifies the concept so that the average person can understand. They don't have to fucking go and listen to the doctor in a fluorescent light bulb lit room with no windows. They can watch it from the beach, listen to Gary Brecka on their phone. They listen to him, they understand what he's saying, and he makes money in the process. So the entire symbiosis of how we've operated is changing. And I think the testament is very obvious. It used to be taboo when we were talking about making money online like 8 years ago. It was kind of like weird. Today, there isn't just 1,000 examples. There's millions of examples, dude. Millions. How many no-face YouTube channels are making thousands a month? How many no-face Instagram channels? You don't even have to be online. You just have to fucking put shit out there.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get money. You're literally casting the net into an ocean full of fish. And it's just like every time you make money and make money and make money. But it comes with the development of skill. And people need to understand that when your skill level goes up, your value goes up, and you want to get paid in proportion to the value that you provide. A lot of people either don't understand that they have to provide massive value, or they think that they're going to deserve a lot of money for solving nothing. So focus on solving high level problems or problems that are going to be worth a lot in the future.